Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kris over here at the Riftraff, and today we have a special video in store. I am joined by a phenomenal co-host. I met him many times ago for skirmishes, so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jay. I am a lowly level one judge, um, and tournament organizer for a shop that I work at called Morrison Trading Post. Shout out to the Morrisons for employing me so I can pay rent. That's awesome.
Yeah, that that is pretty awesome. Don't say lowly
I,
level one. You're good at those judge calls.
well, yeah, until they revamp the judge program and I can move up the ranks. For now, I'm just level one. Yeah, I'm ready to get started here.
Awesome.
Let's get into it.
Super. So, guys, today we're going to take a look at the top eight of Hartford. Yes, it did happen over the weekend, and we did have some surprising deck lists. Even back when we had the deck lists for Utrecht, they were all different as well. So, today we're going to start off and we're just going to take a look at the cards and we're going to kind of see what the meta is kind of shaping up to. And there's a lot of surprises. I'm sure all of you have seen them, but we're just going to go through them in depth and get a kind of like player as myself, and then even a judge's perspective from Jay. So we're just going to take a look at the top eight, and that was done by Miru. I think is how you say his name. And he was playing Pike,
Here,
the Blood Harbor Ripper. How do you feel about Pike?
I actually love that deck. I was watching it with my friends and considering like, is this something I actually kind of want to build? Do I want to do another red and purple deck? I mean, I love Fizz. It's one of my favorite cards, like in the game at the moment. I love Blighted Battle Axe. That's like this spicy pike tech I never even considered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a great card actually for this deck. It's pretty neat.
You
And then
just pick
also
up
it
the
runs
unit,
rank. Yeah, you just pick up the unit and bring
conquer
it
every
back.
turn.
Aetha with a blighted battle axe. I mean, that's kind of terrifying actually. So
Yeah, especially like because I guess like the main core of this was he would basically it had your standard like your twos like your tide turner, your merchant,
yep.
treasure hunter, and then it went into your bewitching. The one of Ezreal I think is also kind of like a very good draw engine piece that a lot of decks can't utilize unless you're A playing Ezreal or B I guess this deck to just pick him up.
Yeah.
Um, because like the bewitching spirit, everyone's like, "Oh, Pike discard," but I guess like the value that you get from this Ezreal, just discarding the dead cards in your hand to just draw into, as you mentioned, the Kai'Sa's there. He also played Rengar Pouncing, which I think is a very underrated red card at the moment, but that's only really seen in Annie. Have you seen it in any other red decks?
I do see like some Rengar lists like running it.
Hmm.
Um, even a couple like as their chosen champion and then running three of the trophy hunter in the main board is just I find kind of interesting. It is actually such a great card. Um, in Origins, I was really high on Vayne. I love that card so much.
Yeah,
And I was like ready to play it in Spearforge, and then they showed Rengar, and I was like, oh, that's just better Vayne.
it's just better Vayne.
Yeah, just straight up better Vayne. It's literally such a great card. I think it's super undervalued, honestly.
Well, the fact that so I get like if we're gonna compare Vayne to it, I do like this more than Vayne because it's a 3 might on defense, whereas Vayne was always a two, so you always had to pay five
Yeah.
mana, one power to pick her up. Whereas with this, it's not as bad to leave at a battlefield if you had to, um, because with Pike, he would be a 4 mana, one power to pick it up.
hmm Yeah.
So that's
Um,
that's really good there too.
Another interesting deck I see it in is Vi, actually. See it in a lot of Vi lists.
Oh,
Um, it's actually a pretty great card to put the gauntlets on, her signature spell. And
hmm.
then when he conquers, you draw a card because I mean, you're sitting at like an 8 might Rengar at that point.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, on attack. I mean, he's 5 with the assault and then the 3 from the gauntlets, and then plus you get to ready him with Vi's legend ability when he conquers and does over 3 excess damage, and then he
Excess
gets to
damage.
draw a card. So he's just like in and out, in and out, in and out. It's such a great card in that deck. Um,
Definitely, yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. Um, the biggest thing that kind of like sticks out, I guess, that I never noticed was how good this deck can utilize switcheroo, um, just with
oh yeah.
the weenies
Hmm.
and the hidden. Like, sure, don't get me wrong, they have like so many things that just say get a gold, but the fact is of like the switcheroo in the main, and then the Kha'Zix in the side is also interesting.
I think Kha'Zix is one of the best cards in the entire game at the moment. I'm not even joking.
Damn, damn,
It is
that's some good
it
stuff right
is
there.
it is terrifying to see that come in when you are coming in with a big unit and you're thinking you're taking an easy battlefield and get an easy point that turn and that they just slam that thing down. It's not great. We have college players at my locals and I hate going up against it every single time. I never know what they're gonna do.
The carrot man, the carrot man. Yeah, to be fair, I think this deck is well positioned with what they were doing. Um, in their like full like they had a very solid game plan. You can see that they have more than just like two or three lines that they can take just from their opening mulligan. Like I'm actually very impressed with seeing the Pike list make it into the top eight because you haven't seen Pike really anywhere near the tops. Uh, Maybe a couple of good day two runs, but not this solid. Um,
Yeah.
of a showing. So like, I Mir is a really good player. I know he has a lot of tops in the events that they go to. But
Hmm.
this, very, very awesome to see there in eighth place. Let's
Yeah.
move on to seventh. We have, of course, it wouldn't be an RQ without him. Prismaticism on Annie. His final best of Annie for the season
Yeah. Wow.
ever.
Number six, I believe.
I think you might be
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
I
that's
haven't
just
seen his
insane.
Yeah, like consistency is key. Cooked up the deck. I've seen people play Annie at my locals, at other events I've been to. They just don't perform the way that he does. They just, he is him when it comes to this
Yep.
deck.
Yep.
I have to give props where props are due. Unfortunately, I didn't know if there's anything that's completely spicy. Oh, I guess the third longsword. I don't know if he had three last time, but the rest of the list looks very similar to what I have seen Annie decks play. Unless there's anything that sticks out to you.
This looks like just the anti deck that I've come to know since Unleashed came out. The two Vex, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
um, and Abandon
Oh,
coming
yeah.
in, the Starcross. Like, I don't know if you've had it done against you, but like the loop of Annie Stubborn and Starcross is maybe one of the most frustrating things in the game if you don't immediately have an answer for it.
That is true. The Annie players at my locals have not been able to hit me with the infinite loop. I somehow did always have one way to wiggle out of it happening with another Starcross of my own to just clear the fields. So it was pretty good.
It feels good when you have like the answer right away. Like you just hidden blade it when it comes in, and
Oh,
you're just or not even sorry, not hidden blade, but like you know just straight up kill it somehow
yeah,
on
remove
reaction.
it. That's
Yeah.
fair. I could see how frustrating it could be. Just like I know how good the Grim Apothecary is, just even in and Inferna in the Rengar lists that I seem to always play now. They're everywhere. So I could only see that Grim just being a good card to just pick up a unit is enough frustration to know enough, especially with Annie. So
Hmm.
congrats to Priz. Not progressing any further is a little bit disappointing. I did think his run could have been a little bit better. Caught Azir, I think, in top eight, which is pretty unfortunate. Or not Azir. I think it was the Master Yi player, I believe. Oh no, it was seventh, so it would have been Diana.
Yeah,
So I
we
guess
lost to Beast Sweets.
yeah, the
Yeah.
aggro Diana as we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty tough, but his run in Utrecht was really good. Squirtle's just different,
Yeah.
but Yeah, seeing no real change there. Let's move on to the spiciest list of all of them. Sixth place was Lux.
Uh,
Infinite, infinite loop, baby.
every judge's nightmare, truly.
Have
Yeah,
oh
wow, what a run. I mean, listen
yeah,
to how knowledgeable he was about the deck and how they approached like testing it, where they would purposely play against like a Yi or a Vex or an Aurelia and made sure that they had Defies in their hands so that like they knew how to they had to figure out a way. Like it was like they were trying to solve a puzzle
yeah.
um in their testing, which I think is so cool. I'm glad it did well. I like Lux.
Oh
Um
yeah, absolutely.
just from a judge standpoint, this is like my
A
worst
nightmare.
nightmare to
Yeah.
see this happen.
You
Like,
know, ever since the introduction of this deck, when it went from China, when the guy did it on stream, and the guy looked absolute like he was cooking. Like the first
yeah.
iteration where we played Renata, Fiora in the main deck, to the ones that we saw in uh, Utrecht, because decks had answers for them. They had invert, they had more hard bargains, they had more counters, right? Like people were
Mhm.
thinking people would be on it. To this new flushed out, I think is more consistent deck with downstage dramatics. Oh my goodness gracious. This card is crazy. Pay 4, draw 2 is just, it fixes your problem when you can't have the echo yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reaction speed, I think, is way better. I had a run in with this at the 10K, which we'll cover in another video, guys. But yeah, he they didn't have this card, and there was a line he needed to draw 2 cards, and he couldn't. He could only draw one because of the cards in his hand.
Mhm.
Um, the interesting part is the one of Spray Burst. I saw a lot of other lists were playing multiple, but I guess because of how consistent they've made this, they no longer require it. And then the last
Yeah,
thing is the garbage grabber, or the fourth forge, technically. Forge of the
yeah,
future, because it just recycles the cards you need.
yep.
Um, this was really well flushed out. I really like this new adaptation, and congratulations to like Child TCG Relavia. Relev I butchered it. I apologize.
Yeah,
If you
that's
know
okay.
it, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt it right now. I'm good.
Yeah. Congratulations to that. We'll move on to the next one, and it is none other than Diana, Scorn of the Moon, fifth, the last to be eliminated in the top 8. There were 3 Dianas, which I think is also kind of crazy. This was the most represented deck in the top 8. 3 of them, sometimes it's been 2 or 1, but to see 3 is kind of breakout. I I see that they went for a 7-5 split. Seat of Power in Diana. As a Diana player yourself, Jay, how do you feel about it?
Uh, it's interesting. Like there's times where I'm just like the last thing I want to ever be doing is holding with this deck. Like the thought of having my units sit there and just fall over to like I don't know 1,000 tail or something
Hmm.
terrifying. It's
Yep.
like to get the value out of that. I just don't see it. Like I didn't really see this player play. So I don't know how much if they even drew like many cards off of it. If they did, that's awesome. But like I don't know. I personally wouldn't go that route. But I mean they did very well. So
They did.
what do I know?
I, I, I'm not there either, so I wouldn't. The typical standard, best battlefields for Diana, Bannon Hall,
Yeah,
Targan's Peak. The triple Vex
sure.
adaptation instead of the double, I think, is also very important to notice that is kind of what's going on
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Rengar, right? Like it's got to be Rengar. There's no
Hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing else about it. It's got to be Rengar. I do like this new adaptation, though, of the one fountain and the one loss. That really is a. I wouldn't even call it a super aggro approach because in my testing with Jewel, having too many gear is awful, and having no gear is also feels bad. So having a gear
Yeah.
that you can just discard and not feel bad about, but also play when you need to conquer, like you need a turn when you need to conquer a thing,
Hmm.
then it's a 3 might unit, which sits at the battlefield, which all the weenie decks can't just like beat over without having to commit a card out of their hand, which I think is why that's there.
Yep.
Um, the sad thing, I guess, is like noticing the one gust is cut, so it's at two. All the best players are playing it at two now, so I kind of understand, especially through my testing. Three is a super brick. I once lost a game for only having three gust.
But like when you have when you have three and you're playing against LeBlanc, it feels pretty good. But
Unfortunately, not every deck is just falls over like his block does. I do like the adaptation of two flash. That's kind of like that's my bread and butter. The two ride the wind I can understand because like even me playing it at three, I sometimes am like, this is a brick. Why do I have three? The three moonfall pretty standard.
Ride the Wind is like so great, but like sometimes it's the worst card you could draw like at that moment. It just
Correct.
feels so bad.
It absolutely does. I do also know that the spray fountains for Aurora, like you got to just play quickly. That's why I see
For sure.
he has another in the side, another loss, and then the two dust. I think that's fine. To be fair, Diana has an okay matchup into the Infinite Lux loop. I can only say
Hmm.
that because Bargain is in the main deck, and
Yep.
there are certain cards that you can bargain, and then they just can't complete the loop that turn. So if you can like buy yourself turns, you can just win. That's how I had to do it in the 10K. It was kind of crazy. Can't believe it, but yeah. Um, so congrats to ACS Evan Shrim. Congrats on the fifth place. As we move on to our top four, we get to Linsanity, also on Diana. This is the battlefield that I would play if I played Diana, and it is Rockfall Path. It just stops Rengar, stops Yi, stops the Vex from just sitting on it.
Yeah, I decided to
Yep.
play Rengar at my local on Wednesday and just first game of the night, Rockfall Path, set the tone for the entire night for me. It's, it's
Oh,
actually the most undervalued like battlefield right now, I think. It feels so bad to play against
it
that.
it's so good. Oh man, that's actually feels so tragic for you because it's also like for Rengar, but it's also for Yi because Rengar the card, and then it also is for LeBlanc,
Sure.
right? Like she never wants to go there.
Oh yeah, I didn't
They do
even
nothing.
think of the LeBlanc. Yeah,
Well,
that's horrendous.
Triple Gust, thinking of LeBlanc, not thinking of the Rockfall path. No, I'm just kidding. It also stops Vex from just getting dropped on it. A if you put a unit at their battlefield, then they have to
Yeah,
go there and they can't do anything. So they have
yeah,
to commit to you. So that's a good little thing. The coolest thing that I see in this list is Eager Apprentice.
yeah. I was just
What's
taking a
going
look at
on
that.
here? What's going on with Eager Apprentice, my guys? I haven't seen this since Ari days. Why is
Since
this
since
here?
Ari,
Yeah, bro, you just play this. You play this Sona and an Ari at a battlefield. Good luck breaking it. Oh my gosh, I wanted to break my keyboard.
that actually sounds like a nightmare
Oh
to
yeah.
play against.
Oh yeah.
Anytime that Sona's at a battlefield, it's pretty bad. But this is just like I don't know, worse facts, I guess.
It is worse Vex. But he doesn't cost. They don't cost a power, which I guess is the only thing.
Hmm.
The but like I can understand the concept of it, right? Like he's not playing smokescreen, he's playing the bargain, so bargain for one,
Yep.
repeat is three, ride the wind is one and one power, your eclipse is two, your moonfall's two, your starcross is two. So I can understand why it's there. But at a one of is very unique because, traveling merchant will just get you to it or discard it, I guess.
Hmm.
The other card that we didn't see in ACS list was Kha'Zix. It made an appearance in Insanity. You're saying Kha'Zix is one of the best cards in the game right now. I can wholeheartedly agree. For Insanity's sideboard, I think is a little bit more. geared
Yeah.
for what the game plan is, right? Two Eager Apprentice. So for going second, you just play an Eager Apprentice, you go to a battlefield, all your stuff is immediately cheaper, so it kills it. It just trades over any two drop or trades the battlefield away. You got another flash. It's probably for Aurora, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's got to be. You have an Abandon for that's the
Yeah.
Lux Loop, and then you have a Baron. Diana can't really kill Baron properly without
Nope.
crazy way shenanigans. So yeah,
Yeah, you need
no,
basically like a miracle turn with Hwei
yeah,
to be able to take that thing down.
yeah, without losing the Hui in the end. So I
Yeah.
can understand why that's there. Oddly enough, no Sprite or Spirit Fountain. So, that's, they just didn't see the aggro approach. They didn't want to. They did very well. So I guess they, didn't need it. Congrats to them as well.
Yep, for
Now we're going to
sure.
move on to the other spice list that's been going around that is everybody's nightmare. Discard Ezreal.
Oh
And
yeah.
by everybody, I just mean Diana. I've never had more units die before I do anything with them against this deck.
Oh yeah, this is such a cool control list. I love this. And speaking of lists, it runs two of them, which I think
Yeah.
is awesome.
Um, Congrats to Brady Kin, my buddy who just loves Ezreal. Played it at our local skirmish. It was my round one. I got bodied by it. It was super. It was super unfortunate. Um,
It,
I'm just looking at this and I just see Flourish. I'm like, man, this card is so strong.
Blue has so many great spells right now. It's like I haven't played Diana up until about like a week ago because I finally gave in and was like, okay, Huawei's kind of cool. I'll try it. And
Yeah,
I'm just like looking at every single blue card that came out in the last two sets, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to play all of these.
yeah.
Why am I not just playing Ezreal?
Yeah, Ezreal just having the ability to just control your hand with the spirit and then, control the board with list and then just be able to just bellows, wages, flourish, you know, you just
Yeah,
disappear. You just go
yeah.
next, I suppose. The only thing I found that was really strong into this deck was if you kill their pack of wonders early, they kind of stunt for a few turns.
Oh yeah,
Um,
they are completely reliant on it for sure. It's the engine that makes this deck run. Like it's if you notice like in his game in the top eight, like every game that he played it on basically turn two, if he was going first, he played them both.
oh,
He won that game pretty much every time. Like it was just it's overwhelming
yeah,
in value.
it It truly is. I think that the only bad matchup, and I say quote unquote bad, would be Aurora for this. It doesn't have the cleanest answer. It only has
Mm,
11 units. So that pack of wonders has to do wonders, to keep your units safe.
yeah,
Pun
really.
intended. It really does,
Yeah,
because like it has
yeah,
no execution to remove units. Like if yeah, but like to remove those like giant units without having,
yeah,
the correct hand sculpted, which they probably could get there because but yeah, that's the only thing I would say would be a quote unquote bad. Maybe having green if they defy and stuff like, but
yeah,
I think
yeah. Like
otherwise it's
I
Mhm.
watched him struggle a lot in the game against Pike where he didn't have an answer for the Mind Splitter. Like there's only so much like the list could do to get that might down, but unless he had the Thousand Tail, it was like it seemed like he really struggled in that matchup. Like anything big, so Aurora probably is like the hardest matchup. I'd
Oh,
have to say.
okay. That would make sense. I do like the Angler
Yeah,
Beast, gets rid of all the two might units as well. He did have some aggro cards, like he had one Sprite Fountain, one Mind Splitter. He had a plan for how he built the deck
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
basically just a refined iteration, my goodness, of the previous list that was running around. So I'm happy to see that Ezreal kind of has found a place in the meta after Miracle Ezreal got murdered. So it's cool to see. Congrats
yep,
to Brady Kin again. And then we go on to our second place, which of course was Diana. Was by Bizweets or I think I
B
said it wrong, but it
Sweets.
is what it is. Yeah, that's
B
it.
Sweets.
B sweets? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I can't read.
I'm just going by how they said it on stream. If that's wrong, then don't blame me.
Sounds better than me. um, his battlefields are very interesting. He has Seat
Seat of
of
Power
Power,
again. Yep.
Arena's Greatest.
Yeah.
My guy was going aggro.
Yeah, that's the spicy one to me. I don't know if you find this like with Diana, but like there are some games if it goes like a little too long, it kind of feels like you get to 6 or 7 points and it's really hard to close it out. If they get even a little bit of momentum on you, it can snowball quick. So getting that extra point early, like honestly, I like it. I think I'm going to try Arena's Great in mine next week.
I, yeah, I we have some skirmishes coming up this next set, like this next wave. So
Mhm.
seeing this, because I agree with you. Because if I had one extra point, I just win the game on the matches I randomly threw.
Yeah.
But I do
Yep.
see he has 12 two drops. Three merchant, three Turner, three student, three sprite fountain.
Yeah. I love that because turn two, he's playing two might units more
Yep,
times than not. Um, which is kind of crazy. Like, not a lot of decks right now can kind of like run with that besides like maybe Victor or something.
yeah.
Maybe
Only
Lilia,
Victor.
or at least Lilia anyway. But it's just pretty sweet.
I do see it. And the spicy thing that I've always been toying around with was the rebuke that I see in his main deck. I think that is a very solid call because, Aurora, if we don't always have the Starcross or the Fizz or
Hmm.
the losses, they do have to conquer a point. They do
Yeah.
eventually have to put a unit on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So if you can just like rebuke it as well, or even to Aurelia. Like this card is just Aurelia's worst nightmare. It was for me when I played it.
Rebuke has been purple boogeyman since Origins. Like I have
Yeah.
seen it time and time again win skirmishes over and over again. Like the
You
very first
have.
skirmish that we ran, like you guys were
Yeah,
there. A
we were
rebuke
there.
ended the game in the turn
Yep.
three or in the game three of the finals. Like Dead Bloom came down for the win. Rebuke sent it
Rebuke.
back home. Like it was like I was like, God damn, that card is spicy. Like it is good. And then it got only better in the next set. I think the only reason why it's not being run as much as it should is because like StarCraft, you can get so much fizz value out of it. It's just that little bit better, just a
Yeah.
little bit better. Yeah.
I agree with you on it. Like Starcross just that's a custom card. That card's crazy how good that card is. Um I won a game
Yeah.
because I was able to double Starcross the same units in reaction to it and bounce two units. It's pretty it's pretty crazy.
Nothing in this game feels better than Star Crossing a ruined Rex in your face.
Oh,
Just being like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Play it again. I'll do it again.
I
The
dare
the
you.
only thing that I am on the fence of is two way.
Yeah. It seemed like they
Because
added a third Vex and took out away.
yeah, I do see that because in game one of the finals, this really hurt B Sweets to lose in turn four to the
Hmm.
charm into the Rune Runner. Or the sorry,
Yep.
the Yeet. This really hurt him to lose immediately. Um, after getting sabotaged. I think that was a. I'm not saying like, he played wrong. I'm just saying like that immediately was like, I don't have a second one. So, this list I do agree with. I agree with a lot. You play Seat of Power game one, blind, because, it just says draw a card if you conquer theirs and this one, which, Diana can double conquer often. You
Yep.
don't play Targon's Peak. That is me as a Diana player, that's the only thing that I'm like, sometimes reading two runes kind of doesn't do anything for me. Sometimes. I say sometimes.
Eh, it's tough. In my opinion, like if you lose game one, I think you go abandon Hall in game two, just because it
Yeah.
is probably your best out of these three anyway. Like this is like that's your best chance of like winning a game basically. And in game three, you're trying to speed run because you're 1-1, time's ticking down. You probably got like what, like 15 minutes left for game three.
Oh yeah, that makes
Are-
sense.
Arena's greatest, and you're trying to close out the game by turn five, turn 5 or 6. Like
Yeah,
that's
practically.
that's case scenario.
Yeah, that's probably the plan.
Yeah,
That would make
because at
sense.
that point you're like spray fountain. Hopefully turn one. Like that would be ideal.
That's the dream. And then keep
Yeah.
two up for gusts or whatever.
Yep. Exactly. And you're just speeding through, and you don't really even need Tarkons. It's not part of the plan.
Nope, not for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense because like I do see the plan now that you've kind of explained that one. It just this deck just has its clear weaknesses, and we do see that. We saw that in the finals as we move on to our
Hmm.
final deck, the winner, the one that was not predicted to win it, but was predicted to be very high represented into Hartford, which was of course Master Yi, the Wuju Bladesman by Factor. Finally got his win, and if we look at this list, the two cards I see in here that absolutely caught me off guard was Fiora Fearless.
Fearless,
Yeah,
because she has
Peerless
no
with
peers.
a
She
P.
has no
Oh wait,
peers.
is that and seeing that they side the Sig Spell Alpha Strike. Those are the two cards that completely like immediately caught me um as like a surprise. I just when she's defending, it's crazy. 10 might. How do you kill it?
Ash, you don't.
You don't.
You
How do you kill
you
something
play.
with 10 might?
Uh, that could also be sitting on a primal strength and or punch first.
Yeah,
Like
unfortunately, I just have a very long, I have a long and abusive history with orange. That card.
yeah.
Uh, Punch
You know what I
first.
think. You know what I think they did, like for siding, like Alpha Strike? I think they literally opted to take just the three sabotages in the main. Just like just
Oh,
run it. You see so many run like one or two for like that game one.
yep.
And I think they just like were like, you know what? I want the sabotage for game one. I wanna see what you're doing. I wanna see your hand. I wanna disrupt you, and I don't want you messing with my plan. And like that's what
Yeah.
that says to me, because that's like such a hard overcommitment for game one. Because what if it's just like a dead matchup? Like you're playing Rengar, like probably 95% of their hand at any point in the game is going to be units, and you're not hitting anything.
No.
No.
It just, because then they side out Sabotage for probably the challenge in the Alpha Strike. Like,
Yep.
you,
Exactly.
you swing in with a unit, Fiora's at 10, she gets action, Alpha Strike, nuke,
Yep.
absolute missile.
Yeah.
Um, I do like uh, the list. I'm pretty sure the sabotage is to sabotage the Aurora decks on curve when they would go to play Aurora to just remove it. The two Zanyas are there obviously to keep the unit that's going to get shot by Aurora alive. And then of course, Charm Rengar fails all this time now. It's disgust.
And Crab and Poro,
Borrow. Draw cards.
or Lonely Poro and Sphere Forge, like the absolute like best two drop. And they're like, what if we just crap to the moon?
Yeah. The fact that
Yeah.
Skelecrab just says, look at their hand when I die and hidden cards is crazy.
You don't like
Now, the
Seymour? I love Seymour. He's the best crab.
true, absolutely true. Factor had a very good plan going in when they designed this deck and tested, I'm assuming, and it go to show. They did very well. Drop one game. It's crazy. So that is the top eight, but we did have to cover one other spicy deck for you guys, and of course, it is none other than the 29th placing Jin by Castin, the Gutter Palace win. Because
Wow.
that The crazy thing is they play like Aurora, the deck, like how it's played. You know, you have Aspirants, Forgotten Mountain, Sigil of the Storm, Bryn, Echo. Every deck that does things with Echo makes me want to just maul. But you know,
Yeah,
you got Echo, Gutter Palace. Ugh, just says win the game. As soon as it's on the stack, it just says win the game, guys. It's so silly, and it has all these draw cards and then Time Warp.
yeah. The
Man,
three time warp, the three progress day. Wow.
they I'm assuming they literally just crash their Echo to then just keep playing all their cards after they trigger the Jin ability. Because they also have Energy
Yeah,
Conduit, which is kind of nuts.
that is actually super cool.
I was looking at this for Diana as like a gear you could play instead of like a low impact gear that you don't feel bad about discarding, but also if you get to play it, it just says get a mana. I guess a question for you then. How do we feel about Echo existing in the game now that people are starting to develop these infinite loops or these crazy crack combos that just they just get infinite mana all the time? How do we feel about that as a game standpoint?
Well, I'm gonna just look at it at like from a player standpoint, and I
Yeah.
hear all the time people are just like, "Oh, this goes infinite, ban it." But from what we've seen so far with infinite loops in this game, is that it requires such a high level of skill and knowledge of the deck, and also memory. Like with the Lux one, like you have to remember the exact order that you were recycling things and keep
Mhm.
track of it. I think this one is like also extremely complicated to be able to pull off. It's not just like, I play these two cards and now I go infinite and you lose. And you're just sitting there like, oh, okay. It's like, I'm gonna, I have assembled this deck. I'm going to try and pull this off as fast as possible. Um, and I think we should just let them stay. Like, you know what? It's enabling like all these extra decks to exist. I think it's fine. It's not super impressive. We had one Lux like in the top, like what? Like I don't even remember what the second place Lux was or where they
Oh,
placed that.
like way down. So you are right.
Yeah. Like, I don't think is this what we need to be banning? I don't think so.
You are
Like I said,
correct.
they're so convoluted and they require so much. If you get it off against someone, hey, that's awesome. Congrats, I guess. But from a judge standpoint, oh my god, this card needs to go and I hate it.
That is fair. It's
Like
fair.
for real, man, it's just I read it and I go, oh my god. Anything with death knell on it, I'm just like, I think that's why I don't like LeBlanc. It's just so many things. It creates so many weird interactions, which raises so many weird questions about like the ordering, how chains resolve, when, you know, ability to go on the chain, where what's counterable, what's not. It's they just create so many weird moments in a game. I feel like it's really clunky and awkward right now. I feel like we're in a weird, awkward phase with Death Knell, and I think Echo is like one of the main offenders of that.
Death Nail that says ready all your runes will always just be a in just, just an insane card unless you do it on your you do it on their turn so it doesn't really matter I guess unless they have all this infinite stuff but that that was the last kind of deck that I wanted to kind of go over with everybody. I hope you guys like it. If you guys like this kind of content, we'll have Jay on a lot more often going over stuff like this. We will have another video coming out over the 10K that happened the same weekend that we had Hartford, which is why nothing really happened, unfortunately, for videos except for this one. So if you like the content, please make sure to comment and subscribe. And other than that, this was Kris and Jay over here at the Riftraff. Till next time, guys.